So what's going on, guys? My name is MrDalekJD, and today we're going to be going over a brand new, just solved Easter egg on Classified, which throws a bit of a curveball in the storyline of Black Ops Zombies with a really exciting message, which has a load of implications which we'll discuss in further detail. If you have any ideas on what this means, let me know your thoughts and theories down below in the comment section, and if you do enjoy videos like this, supporting the video with a like would be amazing. Now, before we jump into it, I need to give a huge shout out to Rich Killer, who has been absolutely smashing it when it comes to solving all of the hidden messages inside of Black Ops 4 Zombies thus far. Thanks to him and Coldstone the Gamer, they have solved the final classified Easter egg cipher, which means that every hidden message inside of the ether maps have been solved in Black Ops 4. So I definitely recommend once you finish watching this video, open the description and check out the link where you can find out exactly how this was solved. It's one of the hardest ciphers inside of Black Ops 4 to solve, but it's pretty exciting because it dates back to story info all the way back in World at War. So let's jump into the message. So on your screen now, this is the message in question, and when solved says the following. I've been logging materials acquired from Group 935 for some days now. Major Sawyer has asked me to evaluate files pertaining to undead experimentation, and this afternoon I happened upon an old friend. Hidden deep away in storage was Dr. Maxis' original matter transference prototype. Apparently, it was one of the items the Americans acquired when splitting Group 935's resources with the Russians. Unsurprisingly, it's in a terrible state of disrepair. Missing pieces, badly damaged, completely non-operational. To be fair, Maxis himself stopped using it after the failure of those initial tests in 1939. While useless in its current state, it will provide great reference when we begin teleporter development at this facility. One thing I had never noticed before, scratched into the bottom of the machine was a message. For M, who started me on this journey. It struck me as odd. I can't recall anyone at Group 935 who went by that initial. I haven't the faintest idea who Maxis could have been referring to. And we see the letter was written by Dr. Schuster. If it's not already clicked in your head what this message is about, then let me spell it out for you because this is really, really exciting. So in the thumbnail, you notice that there was an image of RIESE and the original teleporter. This is all referring to an event which happened at RIESE which hasn't been properly explained in the storyline, but is known as the RIESE massacre. The reason why we know this is because of documents within the Black Ops 1 terminal, but the RIESE massacre is an event which took place shortly after the end of World War II. Following the invasion of Berlin and death of Hitler, the Soviet Union and United States began claiming areas of Germany under their jurisdiction. At RIESE, a group of Soviet troops massacred the scientists present at RIESE, stealing much of their work. American troops soon arrived at RIESE and a standoff took place before finally de-escalating. So from this massacre, a load of the Group 935 assets were split, and this cipher is specifically talking about one of the prototype teleporters. And you know what's even cooler is the fact that we can see this exact original matter transference prototype mentioned in the cipher in Classified in this window on the bottom floor. You may have noticed it before. It's part of the Project Scaddy Easter egg where you have to throw a grenade at this teleporter, but if you look at the bottom of the teleporter, scratched in the bottom is 4M, who started me on this journey. Now I noticed this in game a few weeks ago, but it's incredible that we have some actual storyline to back up with where this came from. And of course, we need to talk about the message itself. This isn't the first time that we've had reference of someone with just the letter M as their name inside of the zombie storyline. If you recall, in Shadows of Evil, there was the reporter who was killed and was laying dead in the chair outside of one of the windows with a letter in his hands with the letter M on it. Back then, we assumed it was maybe Maxis, but we also assumed possibly Monty. It was easier to definitely assume Monty because back then we had no idea what the correlation of that portion of story correlated with the original timeline, but Classified is set within the Ultimus crew and the Ultimus characters. So this story is in the original dimension where things started all the way back in World at War with the original Ultimus crew of characters, the original dimension of Dr. Dr. Maxis. So it's very confusing that even considering that this is all taking place in that original dimension, never had anything which could have involved Dr. Monty in any way, shape or form, because Dr. Monty wasn't thought of at that point in the story. But it seems Jason Blundell and the team are really going at trying to rewrite all the old story in a way where it will all connect and make sense with the present day storyline which is happening. As technically with the introduction of Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man in Black Ops 3, they have always technically existed, we just never knew about them until they were actually written into the storyline at the times where we were introduced to them. We can say the same thing as well for Mob of the Dead, as back then, who the heck would have knew that Richtofen was going to have a lab situated in there and the Shadow Man was in control of that universe until now. Now, if you agree that it's fine for Jason to reorganize and rechange all the old story is a completely different factor for a different day, but the fact is that the original dimension Dr. Maxis should not have any knowledge of Dr. Monty or any contact with him, as that simply doesn't involve that side of the story. Everything involving that is very heavily centered on the premise storyline and the premise dimensions. But like I said, if Treyarch are rewriting the storyline, then perhaps it could be Dr. Monty who has contacted Dr. Maxis in the original dimension, and inferring from the message saying for M who started me on this journey, perhaps Dr. Monty could have influenced Dr. Maxis to even start Group 935 and everything that's led to what happened in the original story. Now, if we really wanted to be complex and complicated, we could even go so far as to assume one alternative idea is that this could have been from Maxis from a different dimension, somehow brought into the original Ultimus dimension, as it was Maxis who created the teleporter which is used in the house to bring the children into Monty's perfect world. But on the flip side, Maxis also messes up royally inside of Revelations, as he causes Revelations by opening the summoning key and releasing the Shadow Man. So if Monty wants to try and stop that from happening, why would he want to work with Dr. Maxis in the first place? It's all pretty weird and convoluted. Now, there is a small other minor theory that some people have on this message and what this teleporter could mean, and this could actually be from someone who gifted this to Maxis in order to kickstart the original storyline. Now, by all means, Treyarch could go and throw a spanner in the works like that to try and make sense of everything, but it would make the story a lot more complicated, which I think is probably Treyarch's aim at this point. But as we know from Shadows of Evil, the reporter got stabbed in the chest by Richtofen. We know that now from the timeline and as well as ciphers, and the reporter was left with a letter in his hands with the letter M on it. We also see this teleporter with the message for M who started me on this journey. Now, linking the two together, it could be possible that Edward Richtofen left this original matter transference prototype there with that message. It's a very far-fetched idea, but hey, I'm just throwing out all the theories that are being thrown around right now towards this message. But we're going to leave the video here. If you enjoyed this video, a like rating would be very much appreciated, and that is all of the cipher messages from Classified and Blood of the Dead now fully solved, and we don't have anything more from the Ether story until the DLC season. But hey, who thought we would have RIESE linking up with Classified? It's pretty exciting stuff. For more zombie videos from Black Ops 4, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell if you have not already, as I am always bringing you guys some great videos just like this one. And remember, please check out that link down below to the Reddit thread to thank Rich Killer and Coldstone the Gamer for all their efforts on helping to solve some of the hard Easter egg ciphers inside of Black Ops 4. Your work does not go unnoticed. The cipher community, as well as the wider community that enjoy hearing the story stuff, really appreciate your work. You can catch my previous uploads on your screen right now, but thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.